9 to 5 Sports Guys. It's your boy T.
What's happening? It's your man TJ.
What's going on? It's your boy Nah.
And it's episode 41.
Sure?
Yeah. Last time I checked, I hollered at my peoples, and they told me, say, yo, that's 41.
Oh, that's simple.
Yeah. I hollered at my people, so my peoples hollered at me, and that's
Yeah, I got you.
I'm a little off right now. I'm upset. Even though we're gonna start with football, but I'm a little off. I know last night the Lakers got cheated, and I think so did the Dallas Cowboys. I'm gonna start with that. Dallas Cowboys got cheated.
Cheated of what?
Hope? How?
They got cheated by Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott played a horrible game.
Nah, Dak Prescott was, the way you were talking, he was like tier 1 or something.
Yeah, elite, matter of fact.
I mean,
Gold jacket, gold standard.
Right.
Nah, because you know what
Dak
it was?
by 10.
You know what it was? I thought I was fooled by the game that he had against Tampa.
Why?
You weren't the only one that got fooled by the game.
Why?
Yeah, I mean, I was legit, that kind of disappointed me because I thought he was going to take that on the
He
road.
beat up a team that was sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, he did. I was fooled.
Accountability is
I got hit with the, with the 52 fake out, aka the banana in the tailpipe,
Absolutely.
because I did not think he was going to play that bad.
Well, granted, the team did what it was supposed to do. It was supposed to beat a bad team. I mean,
Yeah.
as a stat line look at it, they're supposed to do it. But they finally played a team, and a good team.
Yeah.
And it showed. Granted, they still held them to 19 points, but Dak wasn't the only one that played bad. I mean, because he ain't the only one that lost. Defense lost too.
Well, not for nothing, the defense played pretty well.
Defense kept them in the game.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right.
For the most part.
And the defense kind of did their job. You hold that offense, although it is Brock Purdy, aka the next Thomas Edward Project Brady Jr. But the defense did their part. Dak, he turned into the old Dak and started throwing. He had 2 turnovers.
Should have been 4.
Yeah, it should have.
Yeah.
It was just point blank. I don't know what he sees out there.
Yeah, I mean, it also hurt that Tony Pollard went out during the game, and then Zeke, he's done.
Let's revisit something.
What's up, talk to me?
When they had a chance, when Amari Cooper was a free agent, they had an option of either keeping Zeke or Cooper.
Yeah,
Obviously, now we in hindsight should let Zeke go up and keep Cooper.
Hell yeah.
Pollard is cheaper. You get more. He's more explosive. Why would I'm not a Cowboys fan, but it didn't make any sense to me.
Well,
Especially going to a league where it's pass heavy. We're not Adrian Peterson type of league anymore.
yeah.
Well, I know from watching Jerry Jones over the years with the Cowboys, I know he likes to, I guess, he likes to protect the guys he drafts. He didn't draft Amari Cooper.
True.
So,
True.
just like Dak Prescott, he drafted him too. Even though their relationship don't seem as tight, yeah, he's loyal to the guys that he drafts. So that's why I think that plays a part in why he kept Ezekiel and got rid of Cooper. Even though, if it's all about business, I would have kept Cooper because he went up put numbers over there in Cleveland.
Look at his numbers in Cleveland now.
Right.
They would be begging to have that now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Even though CD's put up 1,400 plus this year,
Yeah.
if you have Cooper on the other side, it's an easier game for him.
Michael Gallup had a no call, no show.
Yeah.
Noah Brown, no call, no show. So
But let's put a lot of the blame on the offensive line as well, because I mean they couldn't,
yeah, I mean
they
that's
couldn't block a fly.
San Francisco's defense is physical, man. Them dudes get after it. Shout out to Brock Purdy, another win under his belt. This guy, he's doing something that
He's undefeated.
right now. Yeah, he's undefeated,
6-0, right? 7-0.
And anybody out there can fact check. I'm only saying from my general knowledge, the last rookie to make it to the championship game, and you know you're gonna have your fact checkers fact check. That I can remember was Mark Sanchez with the New York Jets. He was a rookie, and they got to the championship game. Although we lost.
Oh, brother. Hey, yo, the only reason Sanchez made it is because of that defense.
Yeah, that's
that,
what.
that Rex Ryan's defense.
No, that's a
Yeah,
fact.
I'm not saying.
And that run game.
That's a fact.
I mean, yeah, I'm not saying
Bart Scott. It was Bart Scott, right?
Bart
Can't
Scott,
wait.
Yeah,
Bart
Bart
Scott,
Scott,
you
and
know,
That's the only reason.
Right.
That,
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
that blitzing 7-4 front four. I mean,
Hey, listen, we're not here for Mark Sanchez
That's
slander.
cool.
It's
That's cool.
all about Dak Prescott today.
okay. I want to ask y'all this.
Go ahead, what's up,
How do
Tucker?
y'all feel about the play calling, as far as the play calling and the game management?
Both were horrible. Both were horrible. I mean, if you hold a team to 19 points,
Dan Quinn did his job.
you held a team to 19 points. You should be able to call. And then, just to your point, when Dallas had Amari Cooper, they was one of the top 5 offenses in the league.
Right.
You know, but it's like
But Dak was still throwing picks though.
not as much.
Not as much, but he was still throwing picks.
He was, but
He did.
Dak. This is uncharacteristic for Dak because he's for the better part of his career. He's been known to protect the ball.
Well, he's been injured too.
Yeah,
Every year, so
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but he still managed to lead the league this year in picks.
And picks, yeah, that's
exactly.
crazy. That is crazy.
One in the last 7 games. He broke the
Yeah.
streak when they played the Bucks.
He had more picks
7
than
games
Lamar.
Has he missed 5 games? 6
Five,
games?
six.
5
5 or
games,
6,
still
yeah.
led the league in picks.
That's
Outrageous. That's a third of the season.
But you still gotta
You
blame.
came back and said, you know what, let me catch up.
You still gotta blame the offensive line though, because if your offensive line is blocking, then you wouldn't have to scramble as much. I mean, so he was doing a lot of rollouts. You know,
I mean, I'm with you. I blame the offense.
Yeah.
Defense, they came, they did their job.
it was kind of a mirror too. Like as far as defense goes,
yeah,
that's why it was so tight like that.
yeah.
Yeah, Dan Quinn drew up a masterful game plan. He limited that run game. McCaffrey
Yeah.
and Debo really couldn't get going at all, and that other running, but they couldn't get going at all on just running the ball.
Right.
So he did his job. It's just what's the OC from Dallas?
Oh,
He's a young guy too.
Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore.
Yeah.
He's gonna keep his job.
And
Yeah.
I think he just retired 2 years ago or something, 3 years ago.
Yeah, he's gonna keep his job, but I didn't like his play calling. His play calling was, at times it looked conservative, and then at times it just looked like, we're just like chucking the ball to CD Lamb, especially in that second and third quarter. It was
Right.
just a lot of that.
Right.
But he's gonna keep his job, and
Do you think Mike McCarthy will keep his job?
of course,
Yeah,
one more year.
yeah.
One more year.
They, I mean, not for nothing. Although the bad time management and everything like that, for the most part, last 2 years he's won 12 games. That's not easy to do. So, and if Philly doesn't have this outstanding year, Dallas, they lead the division and they have a home playoff game. So.
It didn't matter if they played on Mars; it's still the same result.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now I gotta ask y'all this: who's the bigger disappointment this weekend? Dak Prescott, we all know he didn't do well, or not James. I apologize. Josh Allen of the Buffalo Bills. I got 2 things. Number 1, Joe Cool, Joe Burrow, Macaulay Culkin, whatever you want to call him, is that dude.
Absolutely.
Most definitely.
Right now, he's that dude.
Most
I'm
definitely.
not going to give him, and I'm hearing all these sports talk radio talking about if Joe Burrow wins this game, is he the best quarterback in the league?
No, not yet.
Slow down. Pump your brakes.
Not yet.
He has to win a championship first. I understand you want to dethrone Patrick Mahomes. It's cool, but he has to win the championship. You can get to the Super Bowl as many times as you want, but if you don't win a big game, then that's a whole nother top discussion.
That's still hard to do. I mean, when the way you put it, you say where you can get as many Super Bowls as you want. Well, you know how hard it is to even get in the playoffs, let alone get to the Super Bowl?
Yeah,
I mean, Jim Kelly did it with Buffalo 4 times in a row. Even though they didn't win it,
yeah,
that's still a hard feat.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, would you sit here and just say if he made the Super Bowl 4 times in a row? Just say he does that right now, but doesn't win any one of them. He's not an elite quarterback. He's not the best. We're talking about.
He's elite.
He's
No,
elite, but he's
We're
just
not
not the best.
arguing.
Yeah,
no,
that's not what
elite.
we argue.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, you said pump the brakes, and I'll be like, so it wouldn't make him a legend if he never made any of them. Because obviously Jim Kelly is one that he didn't make it. Hall of Famer. Didn't make one.
Not necessarily, because Dan Marino, he made just one. He's still a legend.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. So what do you mean by pump the brakes? He's not. You have to win the chip in order to be there.
No, I'm taking it away.
That's not what he's saying. You remember when Pat started rolling on the scene, I called him Baby Goat, and you were like, wait a minute, he hasn't done what Tom Brady's done yet. This prior to him.
Ain't
winning.
nobody done that.
This prior to him winning one.
Right.
Right. That excitement of seeing something new is what's happening right now with Joe Burrow. Everybody's basically saying he is on the same level as Pat. He has trajectory, but he's not on that level yet because this is his 5th in a row. Burrow, this is what, 2 in a row?
Right.
So we can't run up there and say, okay, he's better than Pat or he's next to Pat. He's on the same trajectory as Pat.
Yeah,
I think that's what Terrence is trying to say. Like, let's pump the brakes a little bit. He's great, he's doing well, but let's give him more time to achieve more. And then we say he's next to him.
How long has he been with Cincinnati?
This
This
is
is
year.
third or fourth.
So he's
year.
been to a Super Bowl in his 3rd year because he came in when they had only won 4 games that year.
Yeah, he got hurt his rookie year.
His rookie year, he got hurt.
Right.
And
The
that's
next
how they
year-
got Jamar Chase.
Yeah,
Right.
which was a blessing.
It's up, yeah.
But I would say Patrick Mahomes had to sit behind Alex Smith.
For 1 year.
He had a chance,
1 year.
but he had a chance to see the game from the sideline.
Absolutely.
Joe Burrow did not.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
Who did he sit behind?
He didn't sit behind
He sit
nobody,
behind
but he got
anybody,
hurt.
but he got hurt.
He
You
got
know what I'm
hurt.
saying? But he played. He came in as a starter.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah, Patrick did not.
right.
So he had time to watch and manage the game.
Absolutely.
So you say somebody that came in as a starter and in 3 years has been to a Super Bowl and playing phenomenal and already being compared as the next Tom Brady.
Right, no, we're not saying that he's not. We're saying that Pat is still
The guy. That's
He's
basically
still the
what I'm
man.
saying.
Oh, okay.
Until he wins, it's just like Kobe and LeBron. Until LeBron started winning,
Then he wasn't that
that's
guy.
when they say he's
Kobe,
the guy.
yeah.
Kobe was still the man until LeBron won.
Mhm.
Then we say, okay, now he's in the same conversation.
Uh-huh.
You can get there like LeBron did in 07, but you're still not the man until you get one.
True,
Once you
because
get one, it's like, okay, now you're in the same conversation.
Perfect.
You're in the room now.
perfect,
You got a
perfect,
ticket.
perfect analogy because LeBron got to the championship, but wouldn't nobody say he was the best player in the league?
Let's stay on football.
Yeah, but that's just
I got you, big dog.
you get what I'm saying though, right?
I got you.
He's in the same class.
I got you.
He's just not in that room yet.
I got you.
He's in the elevator.
I ain't gonna lie, that was funny. That was.
He's in the elevator.
I got you.
But yeah, so okay, we gave Joe Burrow his flowers. Is that all right?
Yeah.
I just wanted to understand it. That's all. I got you.
Okay, Josh
Hey,
Allen, talk to me. Talk to me. What? Okay, my thing is this, right? And I had a discussion with somebody I know. We talked about home field advantage, right? The NFL is so tricky, right? Because you play for home field advantage, and if you get the number 1 overall seed, you play in 2 games, basically 2 games, and then the actual Super Bowl is not at home; it's on the road, right? Warm weather place or whatever. So I'm like, well, obviously they're not going to do it. But I said, well, for these games, why not play in like a dome so way it's a controlled environment? You can see the best results. Now that would have happened had Kansas City and Buffalo won, right? They would have both played in Atlanta. They started selling tickets. Shout out to Joe Burrow, telling everybody to get their refund.
Right.
That's why I say he's a cold dude. Like I said, I'm not taking nothing away. He's by far one of the best young quarterbacks in the league. But you know, he's just not on that level. You know, being the best. he's not the best just yet. But
he's on the trajectory.
yeah. You all right with that? I just got to make sure.
Yeah.
He's on the road. He's on the road.
He's on the road. So Buffalo, they win the AFC East. They get home field advantage, and then you would think anybody that knows anything about football and just the weather elements that Buffalo, although it does snow in Cincinnati, Buffalo would be an advantage to Buffalo to play in those kind of conditions. It looked like Buffalo was a Miami team and Cincinnati was from Buffalo.
Right.
Everything that Buffalo was supposed to do, Cincinnati did, and they was able to throw the ball. They was able to run the ball. They was able to get stops. And Buffalo, it was like,
with a terrible offensive line.
Yes.
They're missing 3 guys.
3 starters.
Oh, no, they ended up being 4 because they lost the center in the game.
Listen, man.
Well, that's just good recruiting too. That's just getting good guys in that you can bring in, and after those guys got hurt. But to what you said just now, there really was no advantage. The advantage was to both sides because both of those are snow teams.
Exactly.
They both playing bad weather. So,
But you figured Bills Mafia was jumping off the tables.
Hamlet was in the building.
Hamlet's in the building.
but we just sat there and seen that with Miami. Prior to that, we just seen it to the game prior to the Miami game. I mean, Josh Allen suspect.
Nah,
Yeah,
that's a fact.
correct.
You know what I'm saying? So I can't even say just, granted Cincinnati played an excellent game. They did exactly what they were supposed to, even though the Bills were on top of the conference as number 1.
Yeah.
Cincinnati just showed that they were a better team. They probably should have been at number 1, but in which they are right now. But I don't, like I said, Josh Allen, I mean, at this point now, when you look at it from now on, it's like you can't even guarantee the Bills to produce,
Is it fair to say that he is the Peyton Manning of this era?
No, I wouldn't.
No.
As far as
Peyton.
no, not like the outrageous numbers, but as far as you perform in the regular season, you have these MVP type runs, predictions early in the year or performances,
Yeah.
and then in the playoffs you fall short to either Patrick Mahomes or Burrow in this case.
You know what's so crazy? The thing with Peyton is, I mean, offensively, the Colts were a monster, a juggernaut.
13 games or better.
But it seemed like in those games it would come down to just the other team just making a more play. Yo, at one point, who was going to the Super Bowl? It was either Peyton Manning or Tom Brady. So
Yeah, but we sprinkled Big Ben in there as well.
oh yeah, Big Ben was another
That's
one in
what I'm
that era.
saying. He would either lose to either Big Ben or Brady.
Oh Brady, yeah, no, that's a
More
fact.
Brady more than often, but
Yeah, and then whoever
That's what-
Baltimore, because Baltimore they didn't have no quarterback, but their
Right.
defense got them to the Super Bowl
That's
a
right.
couple of times. So
that's what I'm saying with Josh Allen. You're losing to either 1A or 1B, but you have this Super Bowl or MVP
They
like
was-
performances
they was
in the regular
favorites.
season.
They was
They've been
favorites.
favorites since week 1
Yeah.
preseason.
Buffalo's gonna have a problem. I mean, as long as Kansas City and Cincinnati doing what they're doing, Buffalo's gonna be 3. I don't care if they become number 1, and obviously that means obviously nothing. That's just a ranking. It's just based on your regular season record. But I just think that they're gonna be thorns in his side, just like you stated to Big Ben,
Yeah.
or Tom Brady and Peyton Manning was thorns in his side.
Right.
Stephon Diggs was clearly upset that he wasn't getting the
Can you
run.
blame him though?
No, you can't. I mean, listen, in those situations, outside of Minnesota, the game against the Giants, you're looking for your best receiver.
Right.
By any means, and Dak was a victim of that against San Francisco. He threw that pick, and it was 2 people on CD Lamb. That's your quarterback's best friend.
Right. Either that or the tight end.
Tight end, yeah.
Right.
That AJ Brown, whoever the top guy is, that's who you're looking for. No matter what the Jamar Chase, when Burrow, he's gonna throw it to Chase. It don't matter who's covering him. He has more faith in Chase than the defense. So I mean, Josh Allen, phenomenal young player, but you got to win the big game now.
Is he a liability?
I wouldn't say he's a liability. is that Buffalo's one-dimensional. They cannot run the ball whatsoever. For a team to be that good, you should be able to mix it up.
Let me add on to that question. Is it time to start questioning coaching? Is McDermott the answer? Do we need another personality in the locker room to get them over the hump? Because you have the talent. What is lacking? This year you had the defense. You had the front four. The secondary is great. Of course, the injuries hurt them throughout the year, but they were able to start clicking at some point. And then you have the offense. You have a run game. You have two big-time receivers. You have a big quarterback.
Yeah.
Do we start questioning coaching at this point?
I would say probably not the head coach because his process is working.
But that's what I'm saying.
But I would say if you're going to question coaching, dig into the secondary coaching first. Maybe try a new OC. Maybe.
Well, that's
you know what I'm saying?
That's what I was getting to get at. He looks different without Brian Dable. Brian Dable went to the Giants. He didn't look like this with Brian Dable. Brian Dable had a basically an offense that was geared. I mean, his style was geared towards what Josh Allen did good. So I would definitely say, even though he was okay this year, he definitely took a step back without that OC.
Because look, again, I'm gonna have to use a basketball reference, but the Warriors are the same exact team that Steve Kerr got from Mark Jackson.
Yeah.
That personality came out different.
Yeah.
You don't think if you got a different personality and head coach, you would get a different result? Like they might get over the hump?
Well, I agree with that. But I like before you cut the head off the snake, try something. You know, you got to dip into some things.
But who
3 years in. Well, 4 years in.
But they're still getting there.
Yeah. But
Even with like you said, with old boy gone, they're still there. I mean, it became number one in the league. I mean, you know, as far as AFC is concerned, that's just me. I wouldn't cut the head off yet. But I would. There's a lot of teams that out here that's reaching for OCs right now, and that makes a difference. Or DCs, you know.
You could be the Jets and hire Nathaniel Hackett. He didn't even finish his season with Denver, and we hired him.
Or you can get Jeff Saturday from Fox Sports.
Or you could be like the Carolina Panthers and get
We're not going to talk about that.
We're not going to talk. We guess we are going to talk
Steve
about
Wilkes?
that. No, they got Frank Wright.
Frank Wright.
No, I'm saying you saying get Steve Wilkes.
You could, but
He's defensive minded.
Yeah, he's a defensive
yeah,
coach.
but I mean Joe Brady's out there. There's a lot of old offensive coordinators that are out there. It's just, I think it's time to start questioning
the
the
coaching.
question
Nah, I mean,
at some
listen.
point.
I tell you one thing. To your point, he's going to be on the high seat next year. They got it's Super
Absolutely.
Bowl bust next year.
Absolutely.
Right.
At some point,
Yeah.
you know, you're gonna have to get to the big game.
Yeah, so we had a little bit of technical difficulties. Some bills weren't paid. You know, I think I had a little bit of this disconnected word. How your phone service disconnect in the middle of the show?
No,
How we doing a podcast and the call drop? Shout out to Blue Moon, man. This stuff is pretty good.
I gotta give it to you.
Yeah, this is that. I mean, the other one is pretty good too.
Yeah.
I can't find my other can. I think it's somewhere around here. But as y'all going out, you know, look for it. So continue your point of Josh Allen, the coaching. Boom, the floor is y'all, fellas. I'm gonna look for my other Blue Moon.
But I agree with you though. You know, you gotta take a look at it. You know what I'm saying? Because especially if they don't win this year. I mean, you got to make it to the Super Bowl. Not only that, probably you have to win it. But you know, because they've been in the playoffs every year, so now it's not a fact of just getting the playoffs or getting to an AFC Championship. You got to go to the Super Bowl and try to win. But while you're saying it's being his 5th season, yeah, you probably got to look at it and it's in the back of your mind. If he doesn't win this year, this next season here is probably looking for another head coach.
Yeah, because if you don't, then it would just be like keeping Jason Garrett,
Yeah.
who's just mediocre. You have the talent, but you're not drawing as much as you can out of that talent to get over the hump. Every year, Josh Allen's in the conversation of MVP. Every year, they're in the conversation of the best team, contending, so on and so forth. At what point do you get over the hump, and at what point do you say maybe we need to get a coaching change? Change the culture of the locker room, maybe. I don't know.
Now, I want to ask you who who would you say is the MVP? I know Jalen Hurts got hurt.
This year?
Yeah,
Oh, Pat.
Pat got it.
Yeah, Pat got it.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a race. That's gonna be a battle between him and Jalen Hurts.
How many games Jalen missed? He missed the last four
I
or
think.
five,
That he
right?
did. That he did.
Yeah,
That he
he-
did. That he
I
did.
can't give you that.
That he did. I will agree with that.
I can't
I will
give
agree
you
with that. But
if
yeah.
that's the case, then we should have gave it to Carson Wentz that year when they went 13-3. He missed those last 4 games. He didn't get MVP that year.
And he didn't win the Super Bowl either. So yeah, I give you that.
no, yeah.
I give you that.
Yeah.
I give you that. That man does play a factor in missing games.
Yeah. Now y'all ready for your picks?
Let's do it.
San Francisco, Philly, pause. They already started greasing the poles in Philly, Philadelphia. Just in case Philly won.
Shout out to Philly, man. City of
yeah.
brotherly love.
They already started greasing the pole. When I first heard that, I'm
Ain't
like,
no
hey,
way.
yo, you doing
Yo.
what? Not on, like, come on. It's children listening.
Wildin', bro.
So, yeah, they already started greasing the pole. So, Philly, 49ers, who you got? And I got a bet on the 49ers. I hope y'all lose, but guys, that's something for another day.
That's a tough one. That's a hard one. I would say 49ers if they're able to contain Jalen Hurts, only because they've played against mobile quarterbacks with Geno and Dak. So they have the upper hand right now on mobile quarterbacks. Granted, Jalen Hurts being the best out of those two
Okay.
that they're going to face. If the Philly team that played last week that demolished the Giants showed up, Philly's going to win. But the only way the 49ers can win if they contain Jalen Hurts. So that's a hard choice, but I think my heart saying the Eagles will win, but I think I'm going to go with the 49ers.
So, we got the 49ers. Nah, who you got?
I got Philly by 6.
Philly?
I
by
think
6?
The 49ers front 4 is going to get pressure
Yeah.
just by rushing 4.
But that offensive line, Philly's offensive line is pretty good.
But Jalen can move, and Jalen on the run is probably more dangerous than Jalen in the pocket, because you have next to Cincinnati, you have 2 number 1 guys on the outside, Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown,
Yeah.
who can beat coverage.
Yeah.
Only difference with that is, though, by 49ers being real good with their front 4, only 4 providing the pressure, that's more to dropping the
You're
coverage.
dropping more, but
Yeah.
if you're dropping more, they're more than likely you're dropping them in zone coverage.
Well, you're going to have a spy.
Okay, so even if you drop 7 and you do double coverage, who's gonna contain the quarterback? He's running free by himself.
True.
I agree with that. They were able to do it against Dak and Geno with their same defense. So that's the only reason why I say, and both they are mobile quarterbacks.
That, and they design that Philly offense is designed to take advantage of Jalen's mobility, because you have the RPO that they run so much. So even if you rush 4, let's say you hit a RPO, you got slants are coming up. If there's no slants, he's taking off running. I think it's very, very hard to cover Philly because you have to cover all 11 guys.
I agree.
Everybody's a threat.
I agree.
Against Dak is not used as a runner. His mobility is
Right.
used in rollouts,
And
like
that's what
play action.
That's why I say if that Philly team shows up that showed up last week, they're going to be the team to win.
It's a close game. Philly by 6. So if it comes down to it, we got to get Brock. Brock has to give us a touchdown to win. It won't be a field goal to win. It'll be a touchdown. Philly by 6.
If someone leading by whichever team it is, if someone's leading by 2 touchdowns, that's the one that's going to win, because it's going to be hard to score.
But also, the 49ers run game is going to be in because Philly has a great secondary. So I don't think they're going to look to push the ball down the field. They're going to look to eat the clock up and run the ball on them, and limit Jalen's time on the field as well.
And they are the best in the league as far as clock management. So
Absolutely.
that's why it's so hard to pick that
It's
game.
hard. It's hard, but I have to pick them. I got Philly.
I just want to
Don't
say, great breakdown and analysis on both of you guys. I was just a fan just now watching y'all get in depth and breaking down the film, and I'm like, wow, it's like watching a show, man. You know, that's why you need to tune in to 9 to 5 Sports, guys. You know, you get regular average 9 to 5ers, and we break down. You know, we break down sports, man. Anybody could talk sports, but
For sure.
it's
Right.
it's a difference when you're a 9 to 5er.
That's right.
So you got 49ers, you got Philly.
Yeah. Who you got?
I think I'm gonna go with Philly. I'm not from Philly, but I just like the song. But I think I'm gonna go with Philly.
I like a good underdog, man. I mean, of course, neither one of them are underdog teams.
How many? They won like 12
No,
games.
but
right?
I'm saying, but I'm in a row. But I'm just saying, based on stats and where they're ranked, that Philly is not the underdog.
It's like
you know,
calling
one.
Michael Jordan's kids underdogs in life. For what?
No comparison.
For what?
No
You
comparison.
got millions of dollars.
Can we stick to football?
You got 12 wins.
That's the second.
You got a top 5 defense. You're not an underdog for that.
I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, the over and under got Philly, so I'm gonna go. I mean, I like
Vegas.
yeah.
Right now, it's a 2.5 point for Philly.
Philly?
Philly's favored by 2.5 points, so it's gonna be close.
It's close. No
It's
matter what.
close.
I'm saying 6-point game, but it's not like some wild number. It's like
The first mistake. If someone makes a mistake, makes a pick, and then someone goes and score off that pick, that's gonna be the game winner.
So we made those picks. Chiefs. And we didn't even talk about the Chiefs because technical difficulties. But Patrick Mahomes gets hurt, hurts his ankle, he comes out of the game. Andy Reid takes him out. You can see he's frustrated because Patrick Mahomes is a dog. I know Joe Burrow is Himothy, but
Duncan.
but Patrick Mahomes is that guy.
Absolutely.
He is that dude, man.
He's that guy. So
I hate the way he runs, but he's that dude.
yeah, he looks so. But the crazy thing about Patrick Mahomes is that he could beat you in so many different ways. He can run it. He can them. You want to talk about really off schedule, off platform throws? Patrick Mahomes created a whole nother
Backyard football.
Yeah,
man.
like
Unorthodox. Yeah.
unorthodox.
That's what Zach Wilson was trying to do.
Yeah, but we should never mention those two in the same because he wants
I
to be
watched
Zach
the Jets
Mahomes.
game.
So
And he
Zach
did
White?
some wild. He did some wild stuff. I was
Bro.
like, I think it was against Minnesota, yo.
Yeah, like
He
don't-
was tripping.
But listen, Patrick Mahomes, he shot that ankle up. He
Yeah.
left the game with an ankle sprain. Came
5 in a row.
Yeah, so he and it's so crazy because the line started off, I forgot what the exact number was, but then the money started going on Cincinnati. So Cincinnati was favored. Now the line swung back in Kansas City's favor. And right now, as we speak currently, Cincinnati is the underdog by 2.5 points. So it's another close game. So hopefully we have 2 close games. And I got Kansas City and Philly, aka the Andy Reid Bowl. That's what I got in the Super Bowl.
It's hard for a team. I said this before. It's hard for a team to beat a team 3 in a row, but they have. It's even harder to beat them 4 times in a row. Cincinnati has beat them in Kansas City, so Arrowhead's not going to be a factor as far as Joe Burrow them goes because they're used to it.
Burrowhead.
Yeah.
Is that what you're alluding to?
Burrowhead, yeah. I like the way y'all come up with things, man. But I'm a roll with Joe. I'm a roll with Joe in Cincinnati on this. They were right there at the cusp of getting to winning the Super Bowl last year, and I just think the hunger, as far as the defense goes, is going to be. Plus, they have a better defense than Kansas City anyway.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll with that, even though that's gonna be a tight game. It's gonna be tight, and it's gonna be a thing where if that ankle doesn't affect Mahomes, I've had a high ankle sprain. That thing takes forever to heal.
Oh yeah.
I know they're shooting him up on drugs, so that's gonna be Kansas City is gonna be dependent on how he plays.
True.
Plain and simple. Backup's not gonna win it. So if he can be in there and give that Mahomes magic, then Kansas City might win, but I'm picking Cincinnati.
My homeboy.
Well, As a young kid say today, I'm gonna call cap on that. I think Kansas is gonna do what Buffalo anticipated to do against Cincinnati, which is expose that offensive line.
Yeah.
Being that it snowed, that helped them because you don't have to worry about footing and the rush and so on and so forth. The offense has the advantage when it snows, so you just run the ball because you know where you're going. The defense is in the disadvantage because they don't know where you're going. They can't really plant, so on and so forth. Kansas is going to expose that offensive line. It's going to be a close ball game. I think Pat is going to play very well. Whatever shots they gave him, tape up his ankle, he'll be fine. He's had a week plus, 6-7 days to rest or whatever. I think he'll be all right. As long as Pat is out there, they'll be fine.
They have a chance.
If Henny has to come in for more than a quarter or two, they don't have no shot. But I got Kansas. There's no way you can beat them 4 times in a row. I think Pat stamps himself as the overall best quarterback in the league this weekend.
And if Henny got to come in and take over for
If
Patrick
Henny
Mahomes,
comes in, he'll probably be drunk.
no, not even that. If Henny comes in and take over for Mahomes, all I gotta say is anything is possible.
He's gonna be drunk.
Anything is possible.
He's gonna get killed. He's gonna get killed.
Okay, so you got KC, you got Cincy, I got KC. So we pretty much got our picks, man.
But overall, whatever combination of teams we get, it'll be a hell of a Super Bowl. There's
the
not one
storylines.
team that you're gonna say, "Oh man, I hope this team doesn't
Deserve it.
Yeah.
Whatever team we get
Right.
of the 4 combinations, it's gonna be a hell of a Super Bowl.
Right.
Y'all want to talk about the hiring and firing our head coaches?
No, well, before we get to that, I got one question.
Go ahead, talk to me.
This Brett Maher, is that his name? The kicker. Does he keep his job next year?
Oh no.
I ain't gonna lie, that was the most exciting thing for the game for me. Like, is he gonna make these kicks?
But the first one
got blocked.
But he made 50 yarders. He did his job. I don't think he loses his job based on that one game because prior to that he only missed 3 kicks.
They gotta bring in another.
But he's never had besides that miss. I can correct me if I'm wrong. Besides the one that got blocked, did he get another attempt at?
Yeah, he got 2 more and he kicked them long. He kicked pause.
Pause.
But, you know,
No. At an extra point. We don't care about the 40, 50, 60. He's making those. The extra point, that's the problem.
Did Dallas have another touchdown?
No, that's what I'm saying. We
Yeah,
didn't get
yeah.
another chance to see it.
Yeah.
Does he come back?
I just don't think. I think that he just like a lot of those Cowboy fans, he was surprised they was in the playoffs.
Man, clear that
So,
man's locker out.
You know, so I don't think he's going anywhere. I really don't. I really don't think he's going anywhere, man. Based on that game, because they still won.
Who won? Dallas didn't win.
No, I'm talking about the game.
Oh,
the one he
the
was
game
missing them all was with the
yeah,
Bucks.
okay, cool.
So they still won that game. So I don't think he missed kicks on the games they won. He made the kicks on the games they lost.
He was 50 for 53 in the regular season, and then he's 1 for 7
in one game.
playoffs. No, in the playoffs altogether.
Okay,
'Cause
so
one of them got blocked, and he made 1 out of 1 out of 6 against the Bucks.
So you say get rid of the kicker for one game that he screwed up, where Dak has been throwing picks all year long.
True.
It seemed like he was throwing picks even when he wasn't playing.
You gotta blame somebody.
So what I'm saying,
Obviously, they're not blaming Dak.
So
So
do you-
blame somebody?
I mean, Dak was probably, hey, look, let me go for the 2 points because we tired of him missing kicks. I was like, well, do we go get another quarterback now because you can't stop throwing the ball to the other team?
I'm just playing devil's advocate. I can give a damn what they do with the kicker. I just enjoyed seeing that. I think that was the best thing for TV.
It was a weird thing, man.
I mean,
it was weird.
not for nothing though. Dallas did have a tweet up. You know, for all you people that's on social media, go to the Twitter and the Googles and TikTok and all whatever.
Yeah,
all
I
that
think they know
stuff.
how to go get it. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. So they they basically had a tweet up, basically blaming Dak for the loss. Do you think that was professional by the team to do, or do you think you
Well,
keep that in house?
That's social media. As long as it's not coming from the GM or Jerry Jones or the head coach, I think it is what it is. It's just like Skip Bayless, who's a fan, saying that. We don't know who runs that.
But the defense was blaming the offense for losing the game.
They definitely did.
Is that not valid though?
No, it's valid.
I'm just saying, but he's asking, is that professional?
Should you keep that in house? That's all I'm saying.
Listen, not to drag politics into this, but we had a president that was unprofessional. So
Hey.
I don't think we don't live in those we're not in that type of society anymore where we got to live by those rubrics.
Right.
Hey, say your line.
Yeah.
No, not that one.
Sorry.
You got to say you.
Oh, let's stick to football.
Yeah, let's.
No, that's what I'm saying. We're not in that type of society anymore where we got to live by these rubrics.
Yeah. No, I feel you.
It is what it is. As long
Yeah.
as it's not the GM, head coach.
But maybe what if that
Somebody
was
on
a
the
message
team.
from the GM though?
We
That was
don't-
on
we
the
don't know
Twitter,
that. We don't know that.
on the Twitter, whatever that stuff.
We don't know who runs it.
I ain't never heard Jerry Jones just sit there and look like he's about to cry. It's almost like, we're just sick. We're sick.
No, disappointed. That's what he kept saying. We're
Yeah.
just disappointed. I feel,
Well, no, he was saying they were sick.
yeah, he did too.
Yeah, he's like, we're just sick. You know?
The Cowboys won't win anything until Jerry Jones takes about 3 steps back.
I agree.
I mean, by
I've
that
always
time
said
he's,
that.
Too
he's
close
going
to
to
the
take 3
fire.
steps back. He's probably going to take 6 steps underneath. By the time Jerry Jones gives that power up,
He's too
not.
close to the fire to control it.
Yo,
Yeah, he's not going to be on the team no more.
Yo, I don't mean to say anything, but you know, they're gonna bury Jerry Jones under the star on the 50-yard line. I'm trying to tell you,
I wouldn't
they're gonna bury him right under it.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
He's still gonna be there.
Thinking about it.
He's
now,
thinking about it. He's thinking of
They're gonna bury him in that stadium.
in that
That's what I'm
stadium.
saying.
Yeah.
It might be on that 50-yard line, bro, with like whatever inscribed right in the middle of the.
He's
Right.
gonna have a Dallas
He's that
colored
selfish.
Dallas covered cat. I mean, we ain't trying to kill Jerry
Yeah.
Jones.
Not,
we-
not, knock
it's-
Right
on
on,
wood,
right on,
wish him the
right
best,
on.
all that,
Hopefully
but
Right on.
he another 10, 20 years.
That's
but,
right.
That would be crazy.
it wouldn't be far fetched.
I'm surprised he doesn't have a statue of himself outside the stadium yet.
It's in the works.
You know?
It's in the will.
My thing is this: Dallas fans, talk to me. How is the Blue Moons kicking in? I can't think of the coach name. What's the coach for Dallas that won the championships? Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy Johnson.
Johnson.
And,
How is Jimmy Johnson not
Barry
in the
Switzer.
ring of honor?
well, him and Jerry had beef.
That's like real
Yeah,
beef.
They had big beef.
Like, whoa.
But shout out to Jimmy
Oh,
Johnson.
shit, pause that.
Yes, ain't no way.
Yo, hey, shout
They
out.
had problems. They had
Shout out to
problems.
Jimmy Johnson,
Okay.
man, because that was his team. Barry Switzer just came in and just
Yeah.
pulled a Steve Kerr.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's with the personality as well.
Right.
Jimmy Johnson's personality fits that team.
Perfect.
Right.
Perfect. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, Dallas, sometimes they can't get out their own way.
I agree. I
And
agree.
and the sad thing about it is, for players that get drafted by Dallas, they inherit the hatred.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these cats, Michael Parson, Dak Prescott, a lot of these dudes were too young to even really realize what Dallas had before they got there. So they inherit a lot of the main thing where people hate Dallas is because of the fans and the owner.
Right.
It's not the players. The
Right.
players, you don't hear the players out here talking about we're America's team and
Right.
we're this, that, and third. It's legit. It's the fans, which fans are going to be crazy. Knicks fans are, to me, on the same level when it comes to Dallas fans. The only difference is Dallas has been relevant for the last couple of years. They haven't won anything, but they've had good teams over the last couple, I would say, 10 years with Tony Romo and Dak Prescott. But outside of that, Dallas is not a bad team. They just can't get over the hump.
It's almost like a curse, almost. You know what I'm saying?
The Jerry Jones curse.
Yeah.
Until he takes a step back and allows his coaches and hires a GM to do their own respective jobs and just stay in the shadows. I think look at Robert Kraft.
Yeah.
We still know him just as much as the Patriots and Belichick.
Right.
But
Do the same thing. Take a step back, hire somebody, and let them be the best at their job.
But he let
But
Belichick.
why do I see Jerry Jones at the end of the press conference before I see his head coach every time?
Every time.
Why? I don't need that.
But you look at all those head coaches that they've had prior to Jimmy Johnson, even Barry Switzer, they were like pushovers.
Yeah, and that's what he looks for.
Yeah, like yes,
That's
sir.
why him and Parcells they didn't get along
Right.
because Parcells is like, yo, I'm not about to be one of your guinea pigs.
Right,
I'm not your puppet.
Right.
Let me be the coach.
Right.
So basically, what I'm hearing, right, and I could be wrong. So basically, what I'm hearing from my co-host is that Dallas, which camera? Okay, this camera. If you want a owner that ain't all in the interviews, all on TV, all all ain't on the radio,
all in the videos.
Go to the Patriots, not the Patriots. Yeah, the Patriots. Or even though they haven't won anything in a long time, shout out to Pittsburgh because they do it right.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mike Tomlin.
Yo, they've had 3 coaches, right?
And you know what? No one talks about Mike Tomlin like that, man. I mean, this dude has had an undefeated season since he's been there.
Winning.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, not undefeated, but
he hasn't had a losing season.
Right, so undefeated to me. So yeah, but I mean, he hasn't had a losing season, and nobody talks to this guy. About this guy.
Listen, you know why, right?
Oh yeah,
I mean,
I do.
We know that.
I do.
And I ain't doing Dame time. Listen,
we know the elephant in the room,
Right,
because the crazy thing about it is, shout out to Pittsburgh because they're not panicking and saying we got to find a new coach. Listen, most teams would freaking love to have a chance just to compete for the playoffs. Most teams would love to have this stability, a culture, and the fact that that's the thing with these coaches nowadays. Look at Cliff Kingsbury. You fired a man with still like 5 more years left on his deal.
But he was having issues with Kyler Murray. That was
he
personal
was.
between them two.
He was, but that's every locker room. You're gonna have issues. You're gonna have beef. Pause. You're gonna have issues, trouble. But just the simple fact of not panicking, saying, "Listen, we're gonna weather the storm." Nathaniel Hackett, he didn't even finish the season with Denver, and they got rid of him. What are we doing here? We start getting rid of coaches before they can really. Now, I'm not saying you gotta be bad for all these years, but how can you sustain stability if you continue to hire coaches, give them 2 years in the fire? There was one point where the Giants in 6 years had 3 coaches. They got 2-year runs. How can you sustain anything like that?
Lovie Smith wasn't even given the chance.
Oh yeah,
that's the worst.
Well, you talk about the elephant in the room.
Right.
The real reason why he got hired is because the Texans was about to hire Josh McCown, and all he coached was high school football.
Yeah, and he was a backup his whole career.
Yeah. So the only reason why they didn't hire him was because of the whole thing with Brian Flores
And the Rooney Rule.
And the Rooney Rule.
So on and so forth.
You're gonna hire this guy with no experience, Jeff Saturday. You had a former head coach that was already on the staff, and then you had somebody like Reggie Wayne who could have stepped in and been an interim head coach. So,
or even what the Panthers just did with Wilkes and
Steve
Wilkes. He didn't. Now, granted, he stepped in for a team that first and foremost should have never got Baker Mayfield, Flower, whatever you want to call him. He stepped in and went 6-6. I'm convinced, Nam is not, that had they had Sam Darnold the whole season, they would have at least been in a better spot for the playoffs.
We're better off having Stevie Wonder if Darnold's back there. They both gonna throw picks.
All right, listen, I'm not here for the Sam Darnold.
I don't know if I'm gonna say if they had Sam Darnold the entire season because Steve Wilkes only came in got 7 games, 6-7 games.
No, he 12 games. 12.
He had 12 games.
He went 6-6.
Okay.
Sam Darnold went 4-2.
I ain't convinced to sit and say they had Sam Darnold. They would have.
Sam Darnold went 4-2.
But I mean,
go look at the stats. It was run heavy.
It was.
What's your man number 33, the running back? He was a workhorse,
Dante.
man. Oh, he was a workhorse, man.
Yeah, but listen, these coaches that get like this, I guess, merry-go-round thing that we got going on, these teams aren't giving they're not giving these coaches enough time to build a culture, to build a locker room, because it's revolving doors constantly. and you get like 2 drafts. You don't even get to see your players play out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
So-
coaches should get 4 years, at least 4 years, because
3 years and a half. If you're gonna fire somebody, fire him in his 3rd year, halfway through the season, and then get the interim. If 4 years, but as minimum 3.5. If you're gonna fire somebody like week 8, week 9, get rid of him and say, all right, obviously we're not gonna wait to the end of the year and do this. Let's do it mid-season, so on and so forth. At minimum, but 4 years, like you said.
But it's like it's so hard now during these days, but versus the old days where teams didn't get traded, players were still on the team, they had chances to progress with the coaches and the drafts and the trades and trade deadlines that be happening, free agents. All these things are making it hard for coaches to coaches to progress, because it's like I said, the door's always revolving. Not only that, every year the team is different.
Right.
Because you can only have 53 players, and then you got practice squads, and then there's a trade deadline.
Cap.
Then the cap.
Draft and so on and so forth.
That's why it's I'm not gonna say it's competitive, but it's harder for a coach to really bond with the team versus the old coaches of the days with Belichick's and Parcells and Jimmy Johnson's and what's his name, Mark Levy. What's his name, Levy for the Buffalo Bills.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard for all those coaches were great. Don Shula, all those guys were
time.
great because they had the time.
Yeah.
Now, as soon as somebody mess up, the injuries are getting worse, and
So we're gonna take a second to take a break, and we
Pay some bills.
this time for real. We're
and
gonna
make
pay some
sure they
bills.
pay too.
And we'll be right back in a second.